I think the China is going to favor its local producers like NIO and others, XPeng. And I think they're granting subsidies to NIO, which is the battery swap company, even on its very high-end cars.
Welcome back, friends, for one more update from the world of EV stocks. In case you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you live in the United States, you can get 2 free shares worth up to $1,850 just by following the link in the description. Now enjoy the rest of the video.
The crypto market went through a total capitulation on Wednesday, and it sent shockwaves through the entire investment community. Many people are now spooked by the crypto market, and there is possibility that a lot of fresh money will now start to flow into growth stocks again. Bloomberg caught up with Cathie yesterday, and she had a lot of interesting things to say about the crypto capitulation. She also got additionally asked about the situation in China with respect to Tesla, NIO, and XPeng. We will now take a look at what she said.
Hey, I want to ask you a little bit more about Tesla. Obviously, you've been out there front and center years ahead when everybody was turning their backs on Tesla, taking another hit. The news out of China, they have certainly had some tough time. Their growth has slowed substantially. They've had a lot of headaches and protests in Shanghai after some accidents with its cars. Is the Chinese market at risk for Tesla?
I think the China is going to favor its local producers like NIO and others, XPeng. And I think they're granting subsidies to NIO, which is the battery swap company, even on its very high-end cars, which they are not granting to Tesla. So it's obvious, and it has always been obvious, that China would favor a local producer. But what we are seeing from China, and particularly Tesla, is exports into Europe. Where it does not yet have a plant. And what we're hearing is especially in Germany, but all over Europe, where their standards are extremely high for cars in terms of design and performance, that they would prefer cars from Shanghai, which is a much newer plant and much more productive, much more efficient in terms of perfecting these designs than is Fremont. And so I think we're seeing a big export market develop from China into Europe. And I think China will like that. China wants to be known not for shipping or exporting, cheap goods, but also high-end goods. So this could be the beginning of a trend.
So is China at risk then for Tesla? I mean,
I don't think they're going to shut down the factory at all. I think that factory will be used much more for exporting than we once imagined. I will say that Tesla's cars in China have sold very well until very recently. I'm sure the publicity it has received has cooled Tesla's jets in China, but it's been fortuitous that this export market has opened up at the same time.
Cathie, one thing I want to ask you, and we talked about it at the beginning, inflation. Your mentor, you and I talked about this just a few weeks ago, Art Laffer, you were in your 20s, you were focusing on the economy. It was a time where inflation was off the charts and everybody thought it would consistently stay that way. Laffer thought differently, and we know, well known in the supply side economics. Here we are at another time where the markets, the volatility is often guided by our inflation expectations. Is inflation going to be a problem in your view?
Well, we've been saying for some time, actually since the depths of the coronavirus, we were doing YouTube videos saying regularly, V-shaped recovery, businesses are way behind consumers. Consumers are buying all of these goods. In fact, that's all they can do because they're stuck at home, right? So they were buying non-durable and durable goods that could be shipped to them, right?
Right.
Okay, that part of consumption is 1/3 of consumption, and a disproportionate amount or percentage of the market basket of consumers was in goods for the past year. Businesses didn't expect it. They were behind even before the coronavirus. They had been lagging in terms of capital spending, in terms of inventories. They were worried about inverted yield curves and China-US trade conflict. There were many, many concerns. So they had been dragging their feet. They got even further behind and still haven't caught up. So what's happening now? Double, triple ordering, maybe quadruple ordering, because they just can't get the goods.
Panic
especially
buying. We've been talking about companies panic buying too.
Panic buying. And so what I believe is we are setting up for a massive period of deflation.
Two important things to note from what Cathie would just said. Firstly, she now clearly sees Tesla as no longer the leading player in Chinese electric vehicle market. Yes, she mentioned that Tesla might be exporting vehicles out of the Shanghai factory to Europe, but she also doesn't forget to mention how Tesla is clearly losing its grip on the domestic market against the likes of NIO. This all is of course a massive boost for NIO and XPeng shareholders. Secondly, Cathie Wood doesn't see a lot of risk of inflation. That should also come as a relief for many investors who are spooked by inflation fears. NIO has been growing very strongly in China, and now we also have reports that the issue of semiconductor chip shortage might soon be a problem of the past for NIO. On top of all that, NIO is very soon entering the European markets, and actually has an ambitious plan to expand to 5 European countries by next year.
At the moment, we have recruited 15 talented people in Norway. By the end of this year, our team will grow to around 50 people. I firmly believe that our unique team can provide Norwegian users with a positive, innovative and a joyful car owning experience. NIO will build up a nationwide ecosystem of users, technologies and services that aims to redefine how Norwegians relate to mobility solutions. To achieve this, NIO sales and service facilities will be very important. Next, I would therefore like to share some information about our preparation and progress here in Norway. The first and the most important facility is NIO House. Ladies and gentlemen, this is NIO House Oslo. As the first NIO House in Europe, it is located in Karl Johan gate 33 in Oslo city center, only a short walk from the Royal Castle. It has a floor space of 2,150 square meters. The reason why we choose such a central and premium location is not primarily because it's a place to sell cars. As William just introduced, NIO House is another living room for our users. Here you can spend time with the family, with friends, drink a coffee or participate in activities you're interested in.